Hey everybody. Happy winter solstice. So yes, it's still what, 2 days away? 1 day away? 2 days away? It's Friday. Still 2 days away, but happy solstice and everything that this season and this passageway is represented for you. Which the beautiful part of our own inner creation, in our own inner light, and our own inner dwelling is that which we receive from our own connection to divine creator source. That gives us an opportunity to expand and express in new ways. And then also to what this season represents for ourselves. There's just a sense here to inspire those of us to just keep going, however that looks. uh, Parts of this process that are, disassembling like old value systems, old virtues, old experiences, old identities, and all of those old things, like things we invested a lot of time and energy to, is allowing that as those kind of veils and facades shift and fade, that we activate what the new inner solution is for ourselves, for our journey, and for the pathways we choose moving forward. There's a sense of very much so unlocking from within freedom. Again, I mean, it's just like it's how we tip the scales in our favor is continually unlocking freedom. And that freedom is how we divinely align our journey and our choices. For myself, this is definitely like a redefining moment of pass-throughs of time, and one that isn't quite complete yet because there's still work to do. There's still things to shift. Still things to align, but there's also this sense of recognizing that happiness and fulfillment is at the forefront of the equation, and not overcomplicating and not doing too much, and really just like recognizing that fulfillment is not so much about doing or how it's done, but fulfillment is about how things align internally. There's so much in perspective and narrative shift. There's so much in being in a greater level of receivership, but also being able to like be okay with the fine tuning of details, and like kind of like releasing ourselves to life's experience and the overall journey, and welcoming it with honor, welcoming it with love, and welcoming it with a sense of pride, which is not egoic, but really being proud of who you are and staying true to what your experience is. There's been so much dissolving in that moments, times where I even sit here in my own, like, what do I create? And recognize that there right now for myself has been that there is nothing to create because winter, the creation of winter and that pass through point from in the northern hemisphere from autumn to winter is a part of entering that darkness and that void, or that still point. And the gateway, the energy, the DNA, the light, everything has been just like kind of, please be still with me, my darling. Please be still with me, beloved self, and just be okay in the nature and nurture. Be okay with the energy of Cherry Glow coming in and providing that sacred space for you to just kind of learn and be one with this experience and let go. Just let go and enjoy. And a lot of moments for myself wanting to, or this kind of like older expectation to show up a certain way, and then going, no, just release yourself from the burden of worry of needing to be something, and just align with flow, and enjoy this experience of clarity, enjoy what the season's passageway is, and enjoy what mother, right, the energy of the dark mother is bringing through. And it's one that is benevolent, right? Like it is bringing in just like this soft space to be still, to be okay in the nothingness. And what do we do within the void? Whether this is we shift, right? Like, because a part of this, transitionary energy is to shift, but then the other one is also to choose in this alignment as well. And so a part of this kind of like death rebirth and the kind of like resurrection energies is it is showing up. It's crystallizing in my own journey. We lost a family member last night, and so today was a day of like honoring the lineage, honoring the bloodline, honoring that which is shifting, and then also honoring the fact that that is another representation of what death and rebirth and resurrection cycles are, and it's definitely solar and source encoded. Sunlight has been bringing in a lot. It's been bringing in a lot. It was kind of a really hot day. The inner sun was enormous. The connection to the avatar was right there. The oversoul was very clear. There's a lot coming through in that kind of like that space of like, okay, just be with this and stay connected. And then how do I flow with this? How do I show up? And the embodiment is differently, the choice is different. And a part of that is just being okay with that. And when the mind wants to start to worry or to project into the now, right, that affects future events, you go, okay, I see that. Let me shift. Let me transcend this moment. Let me shift. Let me dialogue and step into this in a new way. And then also, too, like really being okay with that which we need to let go of, right? And that which we choose in the new journey. So, one thing I wanted to mention is it was just the other day because, I myself haven't really celebrated the new year in a while. And there's a lot of reasons why. But what's coming through for myself as of recently was about the soul plan. And the soul plan was kind of like the greater harmonic template, re-encoding the sense of self and what the embodiment means in the journey moving forward. Which is just, it is it can feel like a very complex experience to be within, but it's also what it is to be in a very big re-encodement of the reality and the retraining of the field in the reality. But for myself, like it had came through to create a life plan, like to actually create a sense of from the space of pure creator freedom level, what is the blueprint for life moving forward, right? And a part of this is bridging into what the new experience is. So for myself, the and I say organic download, which means divinity and source expresses through me for me, and to share for those who are interested is what is the plan of action moving forward, right? What are the things that we need day to day, right? What is it that we're looking forward to? And when it comes to coherence and alignment in our own journey, what are those things that we do day to day that are also action steps that really prepare us for what tomorrow brings, which means that like yeah, there's been a lot of change and transformation, but like what are those things when it comes to the sense of what the new embodiment is or the new self or even what the new year represents? What are those things that we can take action on that prepare us for a better and better life? And simply put, it's because I've noticed that a lot of what I've seen in my own journey had a lot of theory and philosophy and ideology and sometimes very lofty senses of dialogue and communication. And then there were moments within me that soul dropped right into my body, and I recognized that I wasn't living something in my life that would provide me a sense of fulfillment, which meant that there was things I wasn't taking action on. And so I recognize that the only way to unstick my stuckness or sense of stuckness was direction and discipline. And so this creation of the life plan, which actually it was cool. I was in a live stream and someone had said it was the architecture of destinies. And I loved that phrase. I wrote it down in my journal and I was like, I like this. The architecture of destinies. And it's basically what is that crystalline build out for what the new future represents for self and the change that I'm choosing to embody. And, I look at for myself, it's very much so soul over soul aligned, and it will continue to shift and transcend, which means my mind doesn't have to think a whole lot. But it gifted an opportunity to provide this now to future bridge, which would reclaim a sense of really having my own timeline, right? And being able to take active choices towards the pursuit of goals and dreams coming true, especially within alignment with my own divinity and divine self. So it was basically getting outside of the noise of others and really inside of what the inner truth represents is what Corey needs in his journey moving forward and being able to write that out and create that into a blueprint. And then at a creator level, living that out, which means that creating a soft action plan that can be executed gives me an opportunity to recognize that life can be fulfilling and that things can get done. And here's why. It's actually this exact phrase, I can. I ams are, to me, energetic addresses that dial into frequency and bandwidth, but also at a creative level give me an opportunity to understand who I am. The I can powers on the I am or actually physicalizes the manifestations, especially if there are things that I wish to see to come true in my own life. I recognized that while I was filled with I ams and all this awareness, which had floaty detail, I was left with very little I cans. I had more I cans in my journey, which means my mindset and my body was only able to see the limitations, with which kept me blocked and stuck. So when I recognize that anything I see to be done, especially if it's a divine download from creator, right? If there's a divine download that comes through and says, here's something that is a part of a wish fulfillment or something you're really good at, Corey, is that a lot of times I'd see that download and I wouldn't like ground it, wouldn't crystallize it. I wouldn't even take action on it because I didn't really believe that I could. So I recognized there was a lot of things on my journey that could be made possible that I didn't know could be made possible because I wasn't telling myself I could. I wasn't cheerleading myself on. I wasn't rooting myself on. I was allowing others' opinions and my own limitations to continue to block me or limit me. So the time is now for myself to recognize that all these things that I want for my journey, those things that are going to help me with my mind, body, soul, with my career, with my life path, with my relationships, with my journey, with my own health, it's in my hands. No one's going to save me from it. So within that is recognizing that everything I write down on paper, that's a part of this blueprint, that's a part of this soul plan, that's a part of this life plan, that I'm inner aligning and inner creating and inner working with, can be made manifest by recognizing everything I can do. So everything on that list that I write, I can do. And that is what begins to crystallize and ground in and make manifest what these I am statements are. It's what powers it on. So no longer are these, lofty or frothy, appealing statements, but they're really grounded and strong, practical, applicated life plans that gives us an opportunity to really see the manifestations come to life and see these things happen. So it really very much so is an empowering taking creator back into our own hands and working with creator intelligence at all levels of our being to align what this source aligned and source fulfilled trajectory is, and providing the I can so that rewrite can begin to empower the self to know that these things are made possible. It's how we break through our limitations. And so that right now is at the forefront, is like, as things are shedding, what am I prepping for 2026 and what are those things that I can do? But also for myself, I know that I hold a little soft observation over the way the day to day works because it still is very intuitive. And for myself, though, as I recognize that it's about working through those blocks or those limitations, right? So the grounded I am manifestation can come to life and I can walk and talk as this living, breathing light body, this living, breathing oversoul, this living, breathing divinity or source aligned template fulfillment. And that I can do all these things that my divine creator self is activating from within me, and recognizing that it gives me an opportunity to actually go in and experience life. So, remember, if you're ever down in the dumps and you're feeling very limited, or you're going into that depression, or you're going into one of those things, free your consciousness through the I can statements and working with expanding beyond your limitations so you can start to take action on things. And also gives yourself an opportunity to pivot point with change, which is allowing you to transform, transition, transmute, alchemize on your own behalf, to walk with yourself with compassion, with love, and giving yourself a little bit of grace for how far you've come, which is congratulate yourself, applaud yourself, give yourself a hug, nurture that greater level of experience that's opening up from within you, and also give yourself an opportunity to really align and to hone in onto your own pathway through freedom, through source, right? So it's cool because right now it's very clear in the templates, it's very clear in the oversoul, it's very clear what's coming through right now, and taking that moment to meditate with that and listen, we get in that space, we connect, we align, and it will show itself. So it's about embracing this and then knowing that what we see that is right for us, empowered through I can, will be made manifest. And so really wonderful things to come, but also holding lightly to the identity, holding lightly to the purpose, and holding lightly to everything. So it can continue to allow things to shift, because the shift isn't done with. The change and the transition isn't. There's micro and macro steps in this journey. And these are all just like fine tunings and redialings that are day to day that gives us an opportunity to kind of relearn, to remember, and to retrain the body and the mind. And I know for myself, the consciousness to remember the seed of the soul, to remember the seeds of creation, and to let go of expectation of what was, right? To allow those cycles to just pass through so we can really embrace what solstice is bringing in for us. And this one feels very important for myself. It does. And I'm not going to um, over dramatize it or over sensationalize it, right? But for myself, it's important. It's sacred. And this sacred passageway of time is that which is kept sacred from within my own inner dwelling, and it's important. And I feel its importance because I know other people are feeling it too. And so if you're feeling the shedding of layers, be one with that, be okay with that. If you're feeling the motivation to do new and the discipline and the change and the I cans and the I ams that you want to grow up and change your attitude and all these things, go for it. And if there's nothing you want to do, but just be simple and be quiet, be one with that experience too, because the rest is important. The rest is reciprocal, right? The giving back to self, the connecting with nature, the getting out to Gaia, the doing nothing, the self love, the compassion, the health, that new routine, those things are important. And then clear action steps are showing up as well. And I noticed myself, there's been some divine downloads showing up that I'm like, I'm going to try that thing. And then I do that thing. And like, I feel the body's reward. I feel the consciousness celebration. I feel the spirit teams being like, yeah, that's the way. That's what you got to do, buddy. Do that. Keep doing that. Right. It's like having the coach being like, yeah, dude, you got this. And it hasn't always been like that. Right. It hasn't. And so it's exciting getting into the excitement of what the new can bring, especially when we take action on those activations and downloads. Like when we take action on those things and see them through, what comes through. So keep doing that, guys. Um, you know, a part of this is just a motivational message to just keep going, to inspire yourself to keep learning and to keep growing, and then also to take that time to rest and relax too. I know what this feels like, right? Even those moments being like, hey, no, sorry, I have to say no to this for 10 minutes because my nervous system is important, right? My body's important. My health is important. My retraining of the field's important. My spin rates are important. Like my health is important. Putting yourself first and setting those boundaries and setting that space is really, it's an okay thing to do. And it's actually really freaking healthy. And the other thing too is like when you start to say yes to those healthier changes and those divine downloads, and you see how other people kind of are like, wait a minute. And their field is retraining and learning as you're doing your thing because you're in your power, you're in your integrity, and they're shifting and changing. It's quite fascinating to watch. You know, offer yourself the opportunity to be your own intuitive guide and to walk with your own experience and to have fun and to share space when you want to, but also to take that time to relax and rest and relax. Because, yeah, there is that kind of right now, this sense of, in a benevolent way, right? The nothing void of creation kind of mother energy is just like soft nurturing, the ability to receive, to be one with the experience, but also to just kind of allow Mother Earth, Source, the great central sunlight, Solaris, all of these kinds of movements that occur that are a part of the divine gateway to be just as they are, and accepting the body's process within that too, and then carrying and letting go and really taking that time to just listen to the voice of clarity, right? So happy new moon as well. We're new moon in, give me a moment, new moon in, is it Sagittarius? Yeah. Well, no, new moon in Capricorn. Is it new moon in Capricorn? Oh no, it was Sagittarius. Oh, it already passed into Capricorn. Got it. So yes, happy new moon in Sag. Right. So happy new moon to you guys. Yeah, it's been wonderful feeling energies and not really wanting to do a lot and showing up, and very much so like even looking at my divine expression and going, well, I think we're ready to close some chapters, right? And not sharing fully what those are because they're sacred in the details. But when we hit that go window and that moment to complete, it'll complete. And then we close the cycle and we're done. We close the contract, we're done. We clear it all out. And there's a lot clearing. And I'm grateful for clarity. I'm grateful for the truth. I'm grateful for the tuning. I'm grateful for the rebirthing. I'm grateful for my inner child. I'm grateful for the play. I'm grateful for the sun, and I'm grateful for Solstice, and I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for what's changing, and I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to hold very lightly to what life was. So can really be excited for the life that is emerging from within all of us right here and now, and especially the higher elevation points, right? I'm seeing it, I'm seeing the evolution, I'm seeing the higher elevation points, and a lot of that, represents just a different level of consciousness to embody and to work with, and it's exciting. It's exciting, it's fun, and within that, let's see what tomorrow brings. Let's see what the new you brings forward, and let's see what new inspirations, flourish within all of us as we all remember our own creator source levels, our own creator beings in a body, and remember how to love ourselves as we self-empower, self-strengthen, remember our self-worth, and evolve, whether quickly, slowly, gently, or abrupt. We're all evolving. All right, guys. Much love and respect to all of you out there. Thank you again for your likes, shares, and subscribes. I love you guys. And with that, I'll see you soon. Namaste.